What's going on, everybody? We have a very cool guide today. We're going to be talking about where to find and how to unlock every single Scar of Erebus in the game. It's every single one. 1.0 is out. We're talking about every single one. There's technically 16 in total, so we're going to go pretty rapid fire. Timestamps are going to be in the description, and if you find this guide useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. But let's get right into it. So Mending Erebus is technically the first Scar in the game, but I'm not really going to count that one for this guide because you'll automatically have that when you defeat a single estuary alongside with the entire Drift House. Now the first real Scar you have to pick up and unlock is a simple start, and it is indeed very simple. You just find it inside the Mending Erebus Scar. Just right along the way, right next to an NPC, you'll find it, pick it up, and that'll be your first true Scar unlocked. Now the heavy weapon Scar is the next one up, and this one is also pretty simple. Continue walking on from where you just got the simple start Scar, and you'll see this little fireplace. Use the spell to the right of that, you'll see a secret cave, and there will be your second Scar available to you. This is the heavy weapon Scar. Again, you just need to defeat a single estuary to get both of these Scars. Moving on, we have the 2 Master Scar. This one has a couple of things worth noting. First off, you need to defeat Lamech if Lamech was not your first estuary that you defeated, and you also need the Canopy talent. However you get that, the easiest way is using a Ranger, and then you just have to use the talent right below the Scar at the beginning, and you just grab it. Simple as that. So Narrow Praxis is next up on the list. You have to defeat the skeleton boss at the end of Axis Mundi. Once you have done that, you need to get yourself a dwarf character. However you want to do that, I just reset my character until I got a dwarf, and then you need to go to the Pizza Mundi in the middle of Axis Mundi. Inside there will be a small crack behind some barrels. You go into that crack with your dwarf character and you will have the Narrow Praxis Scar. Next up on the list is Bladed Rose. Now the requirement for Bladed Rose is you have to defeat Nama. After you have done that, you're going to want to go to the Kerguelen Plateau where Far Shores is, right where you got the double jump heirloom if you recall, and you're going to want to fall down the edge over here. You're going to have to use a spell, or in my case I use the Barbarian Shout just because it's easier, to open this little cave, and at the bottom of this cave is going to be your Scar. This one is definitely a fun one. You are fighting Nama and Lamech at the same time. Bit of a toughie, but you know, it can be pretty fun. So good luck with that one. That is Bladed Rose. After Bladed Rose, we are moving on to Closed Space. The requirement for this one is to defeat Enoch in the Stygian Study. You're going to want to go back to this lower room where you see a bunch of books, and on the left there is a barrel, and of course there's a secret door behind it. And behind that secret door is your Closed Space Scar. Good luck with that one. That one is one of the tougher ones. After Closed Space, we have Automatons or Automatons, however you want to pronounce it. The requirement for this one is to defeat Tubal. You're going to need to go to the storeroom where you enter into this little barrel. This is also where the damage boost is for Tubal if you're not aware. We're going to be going to this little wall up at the top right, and behind this cracked wall is going to be this new Scar. This Scar is new within 1.0, so if you've been playing in early access, make sure you go get this one because this one is brand new. We've got another brand new one that was added in 1.0, Spreading Poison. Now this one you need to defeat Prime Lamech. Yes, Prime Lamech. We are moving on to the Prime bosses. This one is going to be above Gong Heads. However you want to break the wall up there, go ahead and do it. And when you get up there, you will be able to go through a door, and there will be a Scar waiting for you. This one is, again, Spreading Poison, and it's above the Gong Heads, and you need to defeat Prime Lamech. Next up is Preserver of Life, and with this one, you need to defeat the Prime Skeleton bosses. Now, with all these ones that are requiring Prime bosses, that obviously means that you need to progress through certain New Game Plus levels, because Prime Skeletons, for example, aren't available to you at regular level. They're not available to you in New Game Plus 1. You have to go to New Game Plus 2 in order to defeat the Prime Skeletons. Just something to keep in mind when you're doing all these Prime ones. But this one is located at the Gatehouse. It is above where you get the damage boost for the Skeleton boss. However you want to get up there, I just ended up turning flight on in house rules. It has been pretty useful in collecting all these scars, honestly. Just flew on up there and grabbed the Scar for Preserver of Life. Next up, we have a Scar only available after defeating Prime Nama. Again, this Scar will technically only be available after you have reached New Game Plus 3, because you have to unlock Prime Nama first in order to defeat her. But we are going to be going to this lore room in the Curriculum Plateau, and inside this little tunnel to get to that memory, there's actually a hidden door. And there is the Rebels Road Scar waiting for you. This one's a fun one, but can also be pretty tough. So have fun with that one. The Two Lover Scar is up next. This one is located in Enoch's bonus damage room, and you need to defeat Prime Enoch to even unlock this. Now, if you don't know how to use that bridge right there, just hit the interact button. On a controller, it is right bumper, and on keyboard, it is the R key. But you're going to walk over to the telescope, fall down and hug the left. You do not need to use a spell. That was accidental on my part. Take the interaction on the right, and you will be taken to this hidden room where you will get the Two Lovers Scar. This one is a fight with Enoch and Nama at the same time. Definitely a really cool fight. And don't worry, you're not stuck down there. Take the left interaction and you will be back up at the top, and you can walk across the bridge to get back. Nightmare Premonitions. This is probably a lot of people's favorite Scar in the game. To get this, you need to first defeat Prime Irad and then go to the Tower of Lights. We're going to be going all the way up back to where Lamech's damage boost was. This Scar is literally right next to Lamech's damage boost. But again, you must defeat Prime Irad first. There you can see where the memory was for Lamech. And here is Lamech's memory for the Scar. And just like that, you'll have Nightmare Premonitions. This is a really cool fight. Alright, we are doing the Atlantis Spire now. The requirement for this one is to defeat Prime Tubal, and it also has a special requirement, and you cannot defeat any estuaries on your current thread. Yes, you need to defeat Prime Tubal, but not defeat any estuaries on your current thread. So what I would recommend is after you defeat Prime Tubal, restart your thread, and then come straight down here. Because if you defeat a single estuary, the water is going to raise up and it's going to flood the entrance that you have to open in order to get into the Scar. So you have to come back, and you have to come back fresh. It is kind of annoying, but it does unlock the Scar for you. Next up is another one where you also need to defeat Prime Tubal. Same unlock requirement as before. This is much simpler to get to. Simply go to Far Shores, and halfway through on this little rock, you're going to see the Armada Scar. Very, very simple. Much simpler than the last one, and much simpler than the next one. As I said, this one is a little complex, but the unlock requirements are also a little complex anyways. So first off, you need to defeat Prime Cain. Yes, the prime version of the final boss. So you need to do a lot of playthroughs to get to this point. Now, if you have gotten to 8 playthroughs and you're able to do this, you will notice that at some point you picked up a mysterious key. You're probably wondering, what am I doing with this mysterious key? Well, this is where it goes. You need to go all the way back to the tutorial. And in the tutorial, you got to climb up these lamps at one point, and you're going to want to go all the way up and jump to the left on a roof. Now, on this roof, there is a little campfire. Hold down and you will fall into a hole, and then you will eventually make your way to a door where you can finally use the mysterious key. After you use the mysterious key, there will be a bunch of journals from Praxis, and you will eventually get your Divergent Dimensions Scar. This one is obviously really tough to unlock, a lot of requirements. This is what all the buildup is for this Scar. And with that, that is every single Scar in Rogue Legacy 2 as of launch day. Who knows if we'll get some more in future updates? We'll have to see. If there are, I will obviously make a guide to cover them. Hope you guys found this guide useful. I hope it was detailed enough. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them in the comments. But until next time, catch you guys later.